What if you could stop using ComfyUI and actually start deploying it? Right now, I'm generating 100 high-resolution images simultaneously without touching a single button. No manual prompting, no waiting for the UI to load. And most importantly, I'm only paying for the exact seconds it takes to render. Today I'll show you how to wrap up your workflow into a serverless API so you can trigger 10, 50, or even 1000 images at once, paying only for the compute you use and save dozens of hours in the process. ComfyUI is great for prototyping, but is a manual tool. It doesn't scale if you want to build an app or run a massive batch. The solution, RunPod Serverless, is cold when you don't need it, costing zero, and hot the moment the API call it.
Warning.
Today, we're going to do the following. First, we're going to prepare and export our ComfyUI workflow. After having our workflow, we're going to containerize it for RunPod. We're going to deploy the serverless endpoint, and then the secret sauce. We're going to debug the request and the response where most people fail. And to finalize, I'm going to show you a Python demo of how you can use this endpoint to generate hundreds of images at once. Let's start by looking at the workflow we're going to export. In the beginning, we just have our checkpoint. It's a simple SD 1.5 pruned checkpoint. Then we have our prompts. So we have our positive one and the negative one. We have empty latent images. We have our case sampler. And then we just have a VAE decoder so that we can actually save the image into pixels. This workflow is very simple. It only has one checkpoint, and all the other nodes are already included on the base image of ComfyUI. Now that we took a look into the workflow, we can go ahead and export the workflow. So right here on the top left, right click and click export. Pay attention, that is the export and not the export API. Here for the name, we can call it whatever you want. So I'll just call it SD 1.5 text to image. And it's saved. Second step, we're going to use this ComfyUI-to-API. So it's a tool that's still in beta to convert our workflow to a repository that we can then later use on Serverless API on RunPod. Let's click Convert your workflow. Let's upload our workflow. Open. When we see here a green check mark, it means that the workflow is in the right format. If you see a red or something else, it means that it was not well exported when you were on the ComfyUI. Let's click Next. Let's start the analysis. So this is looking into the JSON and is trying to find all the custom nodes and all the models that this workflow is using. Don't worry if the model here appears that it was not found. In most cases, if the model is well named and it's not a private model, it will find the model. If not, we can, on the next step, update the link to it. As expected, it found our model. We're going to go ahead and click Next. And in here is one of the most important steps on this process. We have to double check the Dockerfile to make sure everything is correct. On the first line, we have our base image, and this is exactly what we want. We don't want any specific image for ComfyUI. Then we're going to have a list of all the custom nodes that we're going to need to install. But in our case, since our workflow is so simple that it only uses the base nodes from ComfyUI, we don't need to do anything. There's like some warnings that it didn't find, but we can disregard this because they already are included on the base image models. So we have the v1.5 prunes that the tool found on our workflow. But in the case that the tool, since it's in beta, didn't find your workflows, you just have to go ahead and copy here. You duplicate and you add here the link to where your checkpoints or your models are. Want to make sure that you also update the rest, so the file name and the relative path. So in our case, we don't have to do this, so you can just leave it as is. In case that you have images or videos as input on your workflow, you just need one comment here, the copy input to ComfyUI input, and make sure that this folder exists on the repository. In our case, we don't need this, so we click Next. And now it's asking us to create the repository. So let's just put S1.5 serverless. We can leave the description default, and let's make this repository private. It created our repository. We can go take a look into it. It has 3 files: Dockerfile, README, and example request.json. So the first one, the Dockerfile, is going to match what we saw in the previous step. The readme.md is just some simple documentation, and the example request is going to be an example of the payload we can send to the Serverless API. Now that we have our repository, we can go ahead and create our Serverless API for it. So we click Next. We can go ahead and click here Deploy. It will redirect us to RunPod. We're going to select our repository. So in this case, it's S1.5 serverless. So the name we gave on the previous step. So we want the main branch. Docker path is on the root. For the build context, we can leave the defaults and no credentials because we're not doing anything that we need the access. For example, the model that we are downloading is public, so we don't need to pass any credentials. So we click Next. In here, we have our endpoint name. We're going to leave it as default. Endpoint type, I'm going to leave it as Q. Worker type. On the worker type, it's important that you put GPU, because in most cases, if you're generating image or GPU, using a CPU for this is not going to be a good solution. Since our model it's pretty light, we can just put 24 gigabytes. Model, we don't need to pass anything. It's already on the Docker image. Container configuration, we don't need to change anything. And the same for the environmental variables. We are not using any environmental variables at this moment. You can click Deploy Endpoint. It started the deployment, and depending on the Dockerfile of your workflow, if you have a lot of models, this step can take a while to complete. So the build is completed, and we can go ahead and test it. But before testing, we need to find the payload to send. And if you remember correctly, on the repository that it was created, it created an example request for it. So we're going to go here, we're going to copy it, we're going to go back to RunPod, to our serverless endpoint. We're going to click Request, and we're going to paste here our payload. So we're going to click Run. So it's in queue. So it's in progress. It's currently being run. So the request completed, but there's two things that you notice right away. So the first one is that it took a delay time of 8 seconds. So this is quite high. And another one is that it actually failed. So the first one, so the delay time being so high, it's related to the endpoint being idle. So there's an initial cold start for it to run. But if you do other requests right after these ones, the pod will still be up and you will not have this delay time in the beginning. The second point is that it fails. And we have our error message here. So the error message is saying that on the node 5, there's some fields missing. We're going to look into our requests. Let's look for the node 5. So here we have our node number 5. We have the inputs. So we have 512 with the key value. And we have the node name here, empty latent image. I'm going to teach you how to fix this. So you go back to ComfyUI, you look for the node that was failing. So in this case was this one, empty latent image. You click here on the 3 dots. You check for node info and you look for the inputs. So we see that in the inputs, we have 3 fields. We have the width, the height, and the batch size. And if we go back to our payload, on the inputs only has the value. It's missing the width, height, or batch size. So we're going to update this input. We're going to run it again. And now it worked. It was a success. But why did it in the beginning didn't put already these correct values? If you remember correctly, this tool that we use to convert our ComfyUI workflow to the repository, the ComfyUI-to-API, is still in beta. So these small things can still happen. Base64 image, and let's take a look into it. And there we have it. We have the response base64 converted to the image, and we can see the image from the result. But what if now you want to do this at scale? Like if you want to do 1,000 requests, 1,000 images to generate. Now that we validated that the endpoint is working with the correct payload, we can go ahead and use this endpoint as we want. So I'm going to show you a Python script that utilizes this endpoint to generate image at scale. So for this script, we have the following structure. Here on the right, we have a folder for the outputs. So in here is where we're going to save our images. We have our virtual environment. We have example input. So in here is the example payload that we can send to the endpoint. Then we have a txt with each line being the positive prompt to generate an image. On our main is where we have the code that's going to use this endpoint to generate the images. and then we have requirements for our Python script. So the most important part here is to take a look into the main, and in here is where we pass our API endpoints, and on the headers we need to pass our API key for RunPod. After this, on the structure, it's pretty simple. First, we just load the configurations, so the example input and the list of inputs. We build the API payloads mapping to the different payloads we're going to send. We format these arguments for the parallel processor, and then we trigger these requests in parallel. Let's run this. And we can see the images are starting to be saved here on the output folder. You can go ahead and start looking into them. One thing I forgot to mention is where you get this API endpoint and this authorization API token. So I'm going to show you. So back on the RunPod, on the requests, here for this specific script, I'm running sync. So I'm waiting for the image to be generated. This is the endpoint. And in order for you to get the API token, you go here on the left, settings, you scroll down to API keys, you click create API key, and you can create your API key here. So you click create, you copy it, you go back to the script, and you can just paste it on the header. There we go, and this should work like before. You see the images are being generated again. So on this video, we saw how to convert our ComfyUI workflows into serverless API endpoints, where we only pay for actually the time that is running, and we can scale them indefinitely. Another point to not forget is that the tool that we use to convert the workflows into the repositories for our serverless API is still not perfect, it's still in beta. So some manual debugging and tinkering it might be needed. I hope you like this tutorial, and if you have any questions or any problems, leave them down on the description and I'll go ahead and help you out. As always, all the documentation, all the links, all the repositories for these tools, I'll leave them down on the description. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.